So when they were telling me, okay, we're going to take you to meet your trainer, I was like, okay, because at that point I still had no idea who he was or she was. But they brought me to the Max, and obviously we live in Vero, so I knew exactly who it would be as soon as they were bringing me there. I'm like, oh, I'm such a hot trainer. I'm so excited. Because you're so cute and everyone knows you. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. So I was like, oh, great. And I hadn't been in your new gym, just your old gym. And I didn't know if you'd recognize me, or because you were not the boot camp instructor, my instructor. So, but I do know a lot of friends go there, and people from church went to your gym. So I was like, okay. So we went in and met you, and you were nice. I wasn't expecting you to be as nice and kind. Back in the day, I think you were a little bit hard. You were so awesome. You were very nice. Right away. And Bonnie was there, and she was so sweet. It was good. Yes,
what was your thought when you first met her?
Whoa, we got a lot of work to do.
No, so the whole time,
oh my gosh.
I think out of this whole thing, besides me having to gain the weight and what God was working out in me, the other thing I was worried about is getting a compliant client. You know, somebody that's going to do what I ask him to do. And because, you know, I have this philosophy and this way of doing things that does work. And the only crux, excuse me, the only crux of the whole thing is if the people will comply and actually do it. And that's the struggle as a trainer, is motivating people to get on board. And I have had people that have actually gained weight in boot camp, and I've had people that bailed out, and just very ornery, kind of stubborn clients. And so there was always that in the back of my mind. And I've had people sit there and cry and tell me they're going to do it, and no matter what, and blah blah blah. You know, so I really took everything with a grain of salt, but I was really excited because you were wholehearted, fully on board, you know, and I knew that with your physique, we had a lot to work with. Right. So I was hoping that it wasn't going to be somebody morbidly obese, because even if we did have the most weight loss out of the entire show, I knew that you still wouldn't feel attractive necessarily. Right. So it was nice, you know, 60 to 100 pounds to lose is a perfect place to be, because that's kind of like out with the old, in with the new. But if you're 300 pounds, you lose 150, you still got another 75 to lose, you know? Right. And the way America sees that is it's kind of still overweight. So I was excited when I first met you, and I felt like we had good chemistry right away. We were able to talk, and I think it's funny, when you first meet somebody, it's kind of like there's those parameters that are set, you know? It's kind of like, hey, this is, I don't know what, it's just a chemistry when you meet, you know? Depending on the pretense that you meet somebody, there's kind of a hierarchy of this is what I'm asking you to do, and this expectations. Right. And I felt like we had a good communication already set up, and I can already tell we were having a lot of fun. I think we were both pretty nervous. I think you were more nervous than I was, though.
Well, yes.
But I don't know. It was interesting meeting you for the first time. I do feel like the whole preface of the thing, like, now she's got to wait for 4 months. I felt bad for you. I'm like, okay,
so upset about that.
We're going to be together, and you're going to lose all this weight, I'll see you in 4 months. I'm like, so oh man, that really stinks.
That was hard.
So I was worried about that. And
what did you think when he told you that?
I was so upset, because you're just waiting. Like, okay, so you've always wanted to lose weight, and then you fill out an application, you get picked, like, I finally get the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm going to work with someone. This is it. This is my time. And, you know, you get to meet your trainer, and you know for months you're about to meet your trainer, and then the whole time you're thinking about it, you know, you have your last cheat meal or whatever, or you think your last one, then you meet him, and then you tell me 4 months I have to gain weight.
I'm going to gain 45 pounds.
Shut up.
It's something I'm willing to do if it changes your life.
When Steve told me he had to gain weight, I was shocked, but immediately was very sad. I was so sad for you. One, because it's not just your lifestyle, but it was your career and everything. So I knew how much you were gonna have to invest, and how hard that must have been for you, because you've never been overweight. And just like, why would they want someone to gain weight? Why would you ever even want to do that? I was very sad. Right. So I thought, okay, I'm meeting my trainer, and now I'm gonna get to start working out, get on this big journey, lose all this weight. Then he tells me he has to gain weight, and then it took you forever to gain your weight, and I was really ticked off at you secretly. I'm like, come on, Steve, like, it's not that hard. Drink soda. Like, I was so mad at you. So mad at you. I'm like, come on, Steve, I want to start.
Believe me, I tried to gain weight as fast as I could, because I knew they weren't going to let me turn around until they hit my goal.
I knew it was going to be difficult. Didn't think it was going to be impossible.
I'm appalled for myself. This is not who I am.
Come on!